Hi everyone, my name is Jack, and today I'm going to be talking about the hottest thing in batteries, how smart water heaters can save households money and accelerate the energy transition. Right now, the energy transition has a big issue, intermittency. We have lots of cheap renewable power sources, but we can't turn them on and off at will, and that means they're not producing energy when we want them to. In order to make up for this, electric utilities are building new natural gas-fired power plants to create energy in, for example, the evenings from 6 to 9 p.m., and that's emitting more carbon and keeping new green energy from coming onto the grid. So, how do we solve this? By changing when we use energy to be more in line when renewables are producing. One of the major ways you can do this is with thermal batteries. One of the cheapest ways to make a thermal battery is to just retrofit the water heater that exists in everyone's home. So, how does this work? Let's say you have an electric resistance water heater. In this diagram, it's a heat pump water heater. In the morning, you're going to take your morning shower, so you're going to see your energy use spike. Then it's going to wane a little bit. This is the black line. And then in the evening, you're going to be using hot water again once you're home from work and school. So it increases again. Issue is from in the evening hours, you've got peak electricity demand, and the electric utility is turning on all these fossil fuel peaker plants. So the grid is pretty dirty. The way you solve this is you have your smart water heater control module say, okay, we're going to use a lot of energy in the morning, that's fine, but then we're going to keep the unit hot throughout the afternoon, and then in the evening, it's going to turn completely off. We have all this hot water we've heated up and stored throughout the middle of the day. We're not using the dirty energy in the evening, and we're saving the consumer money, and we're saving the planet. Let's talk about market potential. Today, I'm only talking about the hardware. I'm not talking about any virtual power plant models that you can build based off of this technology, which frankly would be significant. Let's say the TAM is we're taking 49 million tanked electric water heaters in the United States and assuming that each module will be sold for $100. The SAM, ideally, a water heater is going to be serviced once a year, so plumbers and electricians will be interacting with this equipment, but let's assume you can convince 10% of consumers to get the module added every year so that they can save money on their power bill. For some, I'm assuming this is a smaller market with few players, so 10% market share for 49 million. Now let's go over a water heater diagram and how this module would actually fit with everything. So on the right, we have a water heater. It's pretty simple. It's entirely analog. You have power supply coming in, 240 volts. That goes through the upper thermostat. If the upper thermostat, which is mechanical, says, oh, the water's too cold, we're turning on this electric resistance. Then we go to the lower thermostat. If the low thermostat says, hey, we're also cold, then you turn on that. And that's entirely how it works. So what you would do is you would interface your module through the power supply because there's a place to hook it in without cutting any wires. And you would put basically thermometers on the inflow pipe and the outflow pipe. That tells you when water is being used, the water temperature, and when power is being used. And those are all the variables you need. So you can see this little oval here by power supply. That's where all the wires are housed. You would stick the module, this little crescent moon on top, and you could take one of the 120-volt wires from the power supply and a 120-volt wire from the electric unit itself. You could stick them into your module, so that lets you turn on and off the entire thing. It powers your Wi-Fi chip, your current reader, your clock, and your thermometers, and it lets the whole thing work.